Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention for just one moment, please? First of all, you're all very welcome here to Griffith College this afternoon. Before the ceremony commences and for your own safety and comfort, I'd like to bring the following information to your attention. There are 7 exits in the auditorium, 3 emergency exits to the rear of the auditorium, and 4 exits to the front behind me here. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please proceed directly and calmly to the exit that is nearest to you. When exiting the building, please do not use the lift. Once outside the building, you are asked to proceed to assembly point G at the corner of the green area over here. In preparation for the ceremony, I would ask guests to please turn off their mobile phones. Please be aware that this ceremony is being live streamed and photographed. Now, if I can ask you all to please stand for the graduate procession. if you can all remain standing for the academic procession. Thank you.
Please be seated. Iana Erica, Aguina Ushla, Fáilte Roiv, Gadi and Sharman Shaw, in a run for Davachtani, Ordidikush, or Aulamori and Colashta. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this graduation ceremony at which third level awards will be conferred on learners of Griffith College. I'm also delighted to welcome graduates and their guests who are not in a position to attend in person and who are joining us online. Our panel members include Professor Diarmuid Hegarty, President of Griffith College, Ronan Fenelon, Director of Griffith College, Dr. Neil Meehan, Head of the Faculty of Journalism and Media, and Dr. Robbie Smith, Deputy Head of Faculty Journalism and Media. Sinead Murphy, Tanya Doyle, Programme Directors in the Faculty of Journalism and Media, along with Programme Directors and Faculty Lecturers involved in the delivery of our programmes. I'm Dr. Tomás McGuckagon, the College's Director of Academic Programmes, and I'm delighted to have the pleasure of being your MC for this graduation ceremony. Con túsa cá leis na himachtaí, Iarmanis ar an talamh Diarmuid Hegarty, Uachtar an Coláiste Gréafa, Lauertling her ceann an Coláiste. I would like to begin the proceedings by inviting Professor Diarmuid Hegarty, President of Griffith College, to deliver a conferring address.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. As I look out before me and see all those masked faces, okay, I'm about to state something which I have to record in the presence of so many journalists and potential journalists is entirely off the record. Now, for the parents, families and friends, you will realize that I've said something that will also almost immediately guarantee the attention of any journalists. And what I was about to say, in fact, is what with the masks, okay? All that is missing, in fact, are sunglasses and hoodies, and we'd have a perfect gang of bank robbers throughout the hall. But distinctly off record. It always strikes me on this occasion that the realization of life's dreams is like a journey through mountainous terrain. And each struggle to a new peak is rewarded with a clear vision of the way ahead. And today, we celebrate your conquering that first peak. Today is your day at the mountaintop. Savor this moment and the vista it gives you, and let its joy live in your memory for life. Remember, however, that during these difficult journeys, we are guided by the experience and dedication of others. Your guides were your family, partners, and friends who shared your trials and tribulations, who prepared meals for you, who put up with your inevitable but hopefully few cranky moods, and those who so readily accepted the stress that you are so relieved to pass on. Now, in the time-honoured tradition of Griffith College, I'm going to ask the parents, partners, families and friends to stay seated while the graduates stand up. Now, I want you, the graduates, to turn back to your families, partners and friends. They are behind you. And I want you to express your thanks for the support you have received over the years to them by acclamation, applause, cheers, or however you like. Do sit down. Now, if anybody asks me how the graduation speech went, I can say it was interrupted with applause. But this moment always reminds me of a story we were told about a priest at a wedding ceremony where he told that the bride and groom they came in as two persons, but would leave as one. He then, later on, described, at the wedding breakfast, described his experience with another couple, where after the ceremony, he had used the same words, but he saw the bride backing the groom up against the wall and saying, "Now, John, I want you to remember from this day to the end of your life, I am the one." Today, you are the one. This is your day, and we fully acknowledge that. And it is obviously much deserved for all of the effort that you've put into attaining the accolade that is conferred upon you today. I'm particularly pleased that we're also have present today the students from 2020. And they effectively missed their ceremony last year because of COVID. We had the ceremony online. And they didn't have the pleasure of actually being here with their parents, families and friends to actually receive their awards. So they've been invited to this ceremony and they're with you today to celebrate their success along with yours. Now, as president of the college, you sure would wish me to acknowledge the work of my colleagues as members of board, as heads of faculty, as lecturers, administrators and librarians whose work contributed to your success today. I'm delighted to welcome our distinguished guest, our guests here today. Okay, Mark Little, our recipient of our distinguished, our Professional Excellence Award, who will speak to us later. But today, I want to look at the COVID landscape through which you have travelled and to see how it has challenged you and changed us all forever. You've faced many trials, including for some here, the grief of loss of someone dearly loved. We ourselves lost our chairman, Frank Scott Lennon, to COVID last month. He was not just a close friend for over 40 years, but Frank was a mentor and inspiration to us all. We were inspired by his courage and his tenacity in fighting illness for so many years, and his piercing objectivity applied to the resolution of many conflicting situations within Griffith College. We describe our loss in these words: the unrelenting minute he filled with service done, our Maker's meaning in it, for so his life was run. Farewell, you Christian soldier, your courage ne'er undone. Rest well, you Christian soldier, for you life's battle won. And many in this audience who have lost close relatives to COVID will hopefully relate to these words and hopefully take comfort from them, and they will understand the depth of grief occasioned by the loss. And our thoughts and our condolences are with them. We're currently living a worldwide track that has changed our lives beyond recognition. We never anticipated that a 21-day global lockdown would actually go on for months and turn our lives upside down. We started doing things differently. We needed to be creative and work with what we have, and started witnessing some historic changes worldwide. While COVID-19 engrossed us in its fear, it also helped us see the world with a new lens. We realize the value of our communities, and realize the importance of life and what truly matters in it. We had to unlearn old patterns and realize that happiness lies in little things. Simple things we overlooked months ago, like a hug or calling over to our friends or family. Those simple things that we took for granted, we now look forward to every single day. This pandemic taught us it is time we appreciate our close ones and be grateful for what we have, and reminded us that life is fragile and that it is time to work together and lift each other up. These past months, we've witnessed a vast sea of kindness and compassion in our communities around the world. It has led to countless acts of selfless heroism in hospitals and care homes. It has encouraged many of us to use our ultimate strengths to serve our greatest purposes, suddenly giving our lives new and inspiring meaning. Among other things, the pandemic has required us all to draw on skills and attributes such as adaptability, resilience, positivity, tenacity, and empathy. We have, in fact, in this time been so fortunate to see our planet heal, if only temporarily. On your graduation booklet, on the inside front cover, you would see 2 satellite images of Beijing before and during lockdown. The air pollution covering a substantial part of northeast China is indicated in color. Beside that is the image taken during, satellite image taken during lockdown, showing in the absence of color, the absence of pollution. So we can actually see and fully appreciate the impact of pollution on our planet. Everyone, including Mother Nature, had a breather during lockdown. Also, as we withdrew to our homes, wildlife took to our streets with no fear of losing their lives. Again, in your graduation booklet, that's this time inside the back cover, you will see an image of a fox wandering through Grafton Street in broad daylight, something you will never see again, I suspect. He seems to be heading for the Bailey. I wonder, did he think it was Johnny Fox's? Unfortunately, nobody told him the pubs were closed. The pandemic's most important lesson has taught us to let nature heal itself and not to take it for granted. Our planet is all we have, and we cannot exploit it more than we have already. Then in March 2020, in a very short period of time, you had to adapt to an entirely new way of learning due to the COVID pandemic. Gone was the ability to sit in lectures and labs with fellow students. Isolated at home, online classes required you to become more independent in your studying and assignment work. It is a testament to your adaptability that you survived and thrived in this independent way of learning. These skills will serve you well in your respective careers. Your learning will be lifelong as you independently upskill as your field changes over the coming years. When the learning skills forced upon you by COVID will serve you well. As the COVID generation, you've largely had to acquire these valuable skills yourselves, and nobody can take these from you. This global pandemic has forced us to embrace the dawning of an era of agility and resilience in the face of severe adversity. We had no other choice but to face the challenges head on and adapting to our ever-changing circumstances. Pre-COVID, we were already understanding the greater need for agility in an ever more volatile, disruptive, uncertain, and complex world. The pandemic vastly intensified these conflicting forces, and the disruption forced us to embrace agility for our betterment. The turbulence made it necessary to challenge the status quo and to reinvent how our world can function. You've risen to this challenge, and hopefully throughout your lives will continue to do so. The COVID pandemic has also affected how we work. When COVID first hit, businesses and enterprises that could adapted to an entirely remote way of working, including innovative ways of customer service, such as 5-star restaurants transformed to food trucks. Many of these changes are here to stay. I'm not sure about the food trucks, but certainly remote and hybrid working are here to stay. COVID has also seen rapid innovation, particularly in the medical field, with the advent of mRNA vaccinations originally developed for COVID, now being trialled for malaria, and HIV vaccines currently under development. An innovative educational challenge is the expansion of apprenticeship-type learning from the traditional trades to administrative and professional work. The major challenge is to change people's attitudes to apprenticeships. People consider apprenticeships only relevant to the trades, and in particular the building trade, whereas in countries like Germany, leaders of major multinationals started life as apprentices. Griffith is already the education provider for 2 national apprenticeships in healthcare and bar management. Allied to this are the development of micro-credentials, awards for individual modules of courses, allowing learners to learn at their own pace, to try courses in a different field or enhance their skills further. Your COVID-acquired skills ideally place you to exploit micro-credentials. Ireland is being held up globally as a shining example of determination and solidarity, how as a society we faced COVID head-on. Clear messaging emanated from government and health authorities, followed by imposition of appropriate restrictions, eased and reimposed in a fluid fashion as circumstances required. The common focus and lack of divisiveness was heartening and reassuring. The government approach seeking buy-in, rather than being heavy-handed as in other jurisdictions, elicited a very positive response, resulting in a high level of compliance with sometimes extraordinary restrictions. This aided us to flatten the curve and allow for gradual easing of restrictions. As the number of COVID infections now increase rapidly, we need to resume this buy-in. The various financial support schemes costing over €12 billion since the start of the pandemic has demonstrated to us the value of solidarity at European level. Your mission is to pass these lessons of solidarity, agility and resilience to the next generation. In this respect, this year's graduates are in good company. Griffith students have won external awards across all faculties, including in accountancy, that's in ACCA, the International Accounting Body, first place in the world in strategic business reporting, scoring 94% as the highest mark worldwide out of 8,395 students. A student also in journalism, in this case in photography, has won the Gallery of Photography Graduate Award in 2020. Another 2 have won S Media Photography in the year 2019 and also S Media Photography of the Year in 2020. A graduate, a former student, in fact, has won the Public Relations Institute of Ireland Young Communications Professional Award of 2021. Another student has won the Video Journalist of the Year Award. In the area of film, our students have won Best Film Documentary Short at the Prague International Indie Film Festival in 2021, Best Film at the LGBTQ+ Toronto Film Festival in 2021, and also Best LGBTQ Documentary at the Venice Shorts Festival in 2021. And also official selection at the Indie Shorts Awards in Cannes 2021 and official selection at the Montreal Independent Film Festival. A fashion student has been shortlisted for a Future Makers Award by the Design and Craft Council of Ireland, and another design student has been shortlisted for the IDI Graduate Design Awards. As regards your career prospects, growth of the Irish economy is evident from news that Ireland remains on the shortlist for billions of euros investment by Intel and by the increasing number of high-growth tech companies setting up in Ireland or continuing to scale up their international operations here, having already established in this country. Examples of recent new investments include the advent of TikTok and Riot Games opening a new remote broadcast and content production centre in Dublin, and Irish-led Sonry raising €50 million for cloud security platforms. Announcement of new jobs in IT and the pharmaceutical sectors are regular occurrences, almost on a weekly basis. However, we would utter a note of caution. for those who have now become accustomed to the online world. And we're suggesting the following back-to-work guidelines for when you find yourself back in the company meeting room. You will not be behind the camera. So do not wear your dressing gown to work, as you'll be unable to turn off the camera. Do not share with your colleagues that your boss is talking rubbish. You'll be unable to go mute. Do not point out that the sound is all clear at your end when in the same room. Do not make faces in response to ridiculous suggestions by your boss. You cannot go off video. Do not offer to switch on sharing. Do not offer to host a meeting, particularly if it's already being chaired by your boss. And lastly, do not say that a document was not attached, particularly when it was given to you earlier in the meeting physically. Griffith graduates are working across the world, and our graduates are content managers in Frankfurt and Dublin, and learning specialists at Google, post-production coordinators at Spotify in New York, marketing experts at Accenture, journalists, researchers, producers, and editors at RTE. Virgin Media, News Talk, The Irish Times, Sun, Star, Mail, and Independent News and Media. The faculty have Norwegian graduates working at LinkedIn and Google in Dublin, and Irish graduates working as event managers in Western Australia. Our media learners consistently excel in receiving nominations and awards, some of which I referred to earlier, including the Public Relations Institute Young Communications Award, to which I referred, and the S Media Video Journalist of the Year Award. But also, 13 media and computing faculty students were nominated and shortlisted in the annual S Media Competition Award in 2021. Also, we have S Media College and Society Publication Award in 2020, and as I mentioned earlier, S Media Photographer of the Year in 2020. We have students from very many nationalities on our video course. C'est un vrai plaisir de donner mes félicitations aux étudiants français. Il y a quelques qui ont accompli l'œuvre difficile de commencer leur diplôme en français et le finir en anglais ici à Dublin. May I thank also our Brazilian students for their contribution to Griffith College. Obrigado por sua grande contribuição a Griffith College. And our students from Nigeria. My people to Niger, how far? How you day? No wahala. Our media learners consistently excel in receiving nominations, as we've seen already. I should mention it specifically Philip Costin, who in actual won our, as I referred earlier, the media graduate who won the Public Relations Institute Young Communication Professional. And I should mention in some detail, this award recognizes outstanding performance by those aged 28 or younger. And Philip is a senior account executive at 150 Bond. As I said earlier, a graduate of Griffith College. He joined Riot Games in Dublin as a content writer. He went on to lead Riot's European eSports content and manage Riot's European player-facing communications to improve the player experience. He joined Dublin Public Relations Agency 150 Bond in 2019, where he advises international technology companies on communications and business strategy. He focuses on companies in technology, industries such as artificial intelligence, data privacy and security, and blockchain. I mentioned already our students who've succeeded well in S Media Award, and they would include Brendan Morris, who received Video Journalist of the Year. And I also mentioned, in fact, our recipients of the various S Media Awards. And their names will actually be mentioned by our head of journalism. It's also worth noting that, as I said, our film, as I mentioned earlier, our film department has done well. But we too have our challenges, we in Griffith College. And key to the value of your award today will be our national degrees becoming Griffith College degrees under delegated authority to make our own awards. There should follow university status now open to institutes of technology through amalgamation, which given our size should be open to us. We too have to have faith. And back to you. As you glimpse from your current mountain peak the world in front of you, may I express the hope that over your period with us, Griffith College will find a place in your heart as you have in ours. I want you to know you're always welcome on campus, socially, educationally, or just to show off the new BMW. You might actually be working for Mark. It'd probably be a Tesla, actually, I suspect. But may I conclude by congratulating you again on your success and by wishing that you may harness the knowledge and experience that you've acquired in Griffith College to achieve what you richly deserve, a successful and fulfilling career. Thank you.
President, it is the wish of the College to confer a Professional Excellence Award. I call upon Dr. Robbie Smith, Deputy Head of Faculty of the Journalism and Media Faculty, to present Mark Little for the Griffith College Professional Excellence Award.
Accordia, Dini Ushla. I'm delighted to have the honour today presenting Kinsen CEO and founder, Mark Little. In interviews on his journalistic career, Mark was often asked what was the best advice he received as he made the journey from cub reporter to primetime stalwart. Mark has repeatedly replied, at lunch today even as well, he was told by an editor when making an article, working on an article that would appear in the front page of the Sunday Business Post just to make it sing. We honour Mark today because this is just what he has done in his writing, on our TV screens, and in the businesses he has founded. This is what he has done by being ahead of the tech and media curve when it came to creating Storyful, and what he's doing now with Kinsen, making it sing at the cutting edge. Mark Little's career has been one of reaffirming positive professionalism, marking successful precedent after precedent. Mark has been a student leader, president of Trinity College's Students' Union, editor of Trinity News. He was a journalist in Ireland's first business and political paper, the Sunday Business Post, before becoming one of the public faces of Irish television. And he is now into his second decade as the leading driver of innovation and entrepreneurship in Ireland's emerging location as a hub for global technological development and digital content creation. He has founded, built and sold a successful international business. He has worked in the engine room of social media platforms, the newsrooms and studios of our national broadcaster, and still found the time to author 3 books. Once again, he is now on a voyage of entrepreneurship and innovation with Kinsen. Mark's career in journalism took off when he joined the Sunday Business Post. He began his 18-year occupation of our living rooms when he was hired as a TV news reporter for RTE in 1991. I should say he left a master's degree to do that, but we'll forgive that. And here we have one of Mark's many career precedents when he was appointed RTE's first Washington correspondent in 1995. We couldn't envisage RTE now without a permanent US presence. But it was Mark who demonstrated how vital and powerful such a post could be. Mark was our witness and guide to the unfolding events in the United States. He steered us through the tumultuous final years of the Clinton presidency and its role in the emerging Irish peace process. In 2001, Mark became an international correspondent for RTE, reporting on the tragedy of 9/11 and the subsequent invasion of Afghanistan. Indeed, Mark was named TV Journalist of the Year in 2001 for his reporting from war-torn Afghanistan. And in 2002, he was appointed a co-presenter of Primetime, RTE's flagship current affairs programme. Mark, though, was not just a live presenter at RTE. He planned and produced documentaries on Islam as well as US social culture. For example, in his 2006 documentary, Who's Afraid of Islam, Mark invested in 6 months of travel and investigation to bring the most complete picture he could that was possible of modern Islam to Irish TV viewers. And then there are the books. Turn Left at Greenland, 2002, Zulu Time, 2004, and The New America, published in 2010. His contribution here makes us wonder, where did he find the time? They are rare in the world of professional news and current affairs broadcasters today. As a journalist and a presenter, Mark mediated the world for us with clarity and conviction. When asked once who has had the greatest influence on him, Mark answered, "My kids. They've taught me more about the value of honest questions and straight answers than years of television." This forthright honesty is what makes Mark such a powerful media presence, and one which he transferred from our screens into the businesses he founded. In 2009, Mark took a leave of absence from RTE, a step unprecedented at the time in the national broadcaster. He had an idea for the first social media newswire and a faster way to break news stories internationally. This idea became Storyful, who built a client list that included some of the biggest news organizations in the world. Mark had gazumped traditional routes of news media origination, and it was no surprise that when he sold the company in 2013, his purchaser was Rupert Murdoch's News Corp. At this juncture, Mark could have slowed down, but he didn't, taking instead a key role at Twitter as Vice President Media for Europe and Africa and Managing Director of Twitter Ireland. Then in 2017, there was yet another shift in Mark's career as once again he returned to creating a new enterprise. Mark himself has said that his innovation and entrepreneurship is not about big houses and expensive cars, it's about the freedom to create. And I think that's something all the graduates here today would understand. And he has done this once again with Kinsen, whose mission is to protect every online community and public conversation from disinformation campaigns and dangerous content. In the midst of this hectic world of building Kinsen, Mark has still found time to have a role in the Future of Media Commission, and this year was appointed a media fellow at the Schuler Democracy Forum in Trinity College. Mark, along with Kinsen co-founder Anya Kerr, has worked with us in Griffith to have Kinsen as an industry partner in our new postgraduate diploma in trust, safety, and content moderation management. His inspiration and his inputs here were a vital factor in developing this program from an idea into an actuality. And that is what Mark has been doing again and again in his professional career. Mark has described his wife Tara as his eternal guide. We have to acknowledge her role in guiding him. His children, Tommy, Daisy, and Sorka, are the ones who demanded honest questions and straight answers. We must acknowledge that Mark's success today was rooted in this simple honesty. We look forward to another decade of straight answers and making it sing. Uachtaráin, for his contribution to truth and integrity online, and I formally present to you Mark Little for the college's Professional Excellence Award.
Repeat the words that are on the scroll, described in the scroll, for his contribution to truth and integrity online.
Inis, bhfuil an fáilte go ráibh go dtí an cuid den ócáid in run for colleagueachtaí náisiúnta agus idirnáisiúnta Vic Lane and Coláiste. I now welcome you to the part of our proceedings at which national and international awards will be conferred on learners of the college, and I declare open this awards ceremony. Iram an talamh Diarmaitegartaí, Uachtaráin Coláiste Gréafa, colleagueachtaí náisiúnta agus idirnáisiúnta bhronn na fálamóirí atá dar Herbert ag an Coláiste. I call upon Professor Diarmaitegartaí, President of Griffith College, to confer awards on the learners of this college presented by the college for that purpose.
I would like, if I could, first of all, to explain to you the significance of this point in the ceremony. You may recall that in my address I referred to you as graduands, which is the Latin gerund, basically means those in course of graduating. As from this act of conferring, you cease to be graduands and become graduates. That's not to say that you haven't, in fact, earned the accolade now being conferred upon you already, and well earned it through your years of study and through the assessments you have passed. But it's that act of conferring that actually confers upon you the accolade of graduate, which I'm about to do. Har ceann colóistí grífa, agus cóla diabhú colíchta agus colíchta éireann. Brunam colíchta a fialamóra an colóiste, a bhain caidan amach I lechna colíchtaí, agus iram go gurtar na fialamóra fí ma bhráid, agus go bhfuil míad, go bhfuil na fialamóra as láthar anseo inniu. If I may actually say this in English, also for the benefit of those who do not have Irish as a mother tongue. On behalf of Griffith College and Quality and Qualifications Ireland, I hereby confer the awards on the learners of the college who've achieved the standards determined for those awards, and I ask that those learners be presented to me, and also that we remember the students who are presented today in absentia, as they watch this ceremony online.
Iramanish Sinead Murphy, Stewart Clár, Irahuri on Dov Irishort, agus man Comersaida or Curry Láthar. I call upon Sinead Murphy, Programme Director, to present candidates in respect of the college's Faculty of Journalism and Media programmes, particularly in photography.
Good afternoon. The class of 2020 and 2021. To our certificate in photography graduates, a cohort full of personality, a kind, funny, supportive and talented group, your attributes made for a wonderful educational experience and will serve you well in all of your endeavours. To those of you who have since made the, may I say, brilliant decision to continue your studies on the degree with us, we look forward to working with you over the next 2 years and seeing your work. For the others, we'll still take you back. And to the BA in Photographic Media graduates, a warm and uber-talented cohort. You displayed so much determination and adaptability during your degree. We salute you. We hope that you all made lots of mistakes during your time here. We even asked you to tell us about every mishap in the dreaded visual diaries. Your glorious mistakes, which sparked the next idea. Some of your highlights include SMedia nominations and wins. Julia Falange won SMedia Photographer of the Year in 2020. Sebastian Farren-Matten won it in 2019. And Flea Blomstrand represented Griffith in the inaugural Gallery of Photography Graduate Award in 2020. Karina Nolan saw great success with her graduate work Rituals, based on the sea swimming community. Her work received 3rd place in the Outdoor Swimming magazine. That happened twice. She also came runner-up in the Docklands photography competition and had her work selected by a Guardian editor in the Sorts Graduate Photography 2021. Karina's work was selected with just a handful out of the many photography graduates in Ireland and across the entire of the UK. Your work, your group, you had magazine launches, you had work exhibited, you had work published and sold. And of course, when we said, let's put this year's graduate exhibition into a box instead of a room, you said, yes, let's. As we adapted to find new ways of teaching and showing your work, you did too. Thank you for that. The box set was truly innovative and fitting for your graduate work. Never stop learning, questioning everything, experimenting and shooting the world through each of your own unique eyes. Shoot what you love and what interests you, no matter what, and act. Ideas are nothing without action. I'd like to finish with an abridged version of a Theodore Roosevelt quote, or the man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena. Because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. In the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails daring, while daring greatly, so that in his place shall never be those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. You'll always have the support of your fellow alumni, and of course us, from all of us in the photography department. Congratulations. President, I call upon you to present the following candidates who successfully completed the programmes in the Journalism and Media faculty and who are worthy of the QQI Awards. The BA in Photographic Media, the Certificate in Photography, and the BA in Photographic Media. First up is Hannah Donoghue for the BA. Viet Huang Duong. Max Fian. Philip Macmillan. Conor O'Rourke. And Juliana Sarno Falange Rodriguez. And the graduates of 2020 for the BA in Photographic Media, Amy Flynn. And Yvonne Hayes. Yuri Kawakami. Brandon Kyo. And David Phillips. And lastly, but not least, Patricia Amsha Chia.
Irmanish an Dr. Neil Meehan, Count Dive, Hira Ori on Dive, the man Comerside a Herbert. I call upon Dr. Neil Meehan, Head of Faculty, to present candidates in respect of the College's Faculty of Journalism and Media.
Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, life throws up complex challenges. College life is no different. Graduates from 2019-20 and 2020-21 have been through the academic mill and, dare I say it once more, the COVID mill. You were in class one day, the next in a virtual classroom in dispersed parts of the globe. You surmounted challenges directly or within your family, one of you in the process creating a family by becoming a father, and sustained your studies. We talk internally quite rightly about the versatility of staff in turning teaching around very quickly in March 2020. Your versatility, general good humour, and willingness to cope under unforeseen conditions turned crisis into educational and character-building opportunity. Our French students from Nice emerged from lockdown with which they coped academically very well by touring Ireland. This camaraderie was reflected across the class, which enthusiastically undertook difficult academic and practical dissertation research. You became innovative communicators, flying the colours you display on your shoulders today. We salute graduates every year. We salute you in particular this year. While you succeeded individually with S-Media nominations, Ronan Gargan, Adam Thibault and Ash Potter come to mind, you also shined as a group. That is also something to celebrate. This is the start of a new chapter in your lives as you face the new normal. Young people are solution-focused. Keep that thought going. There is no problem that cannot be solved with grit, determination, no small amount of ingenuity and clear thinking. A bit like completing assignments and passing exams, perhaps. There are major problems facing society locally and globally. You've experienced and are experiencing some of them. Always challenge misinformation with evidence. Communicate that and you will succeed. Look at Mark Little. If you want to sort out other people's mistakes, you must learn by making some of your own, but hopefully fewer as you proceed. Let us know how you get on. As has been noted, we can then talk about you in future graduation ceremonies. So, continue to communicate with us, please. To conclude, I wish you all the very best in your career. You deserve it. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed the BA in Communications and the BA in Communications and Media Production, who are worthy of their QQI awards. Conor Aldwell. Aaron Murphy. David Anthony O'Neill. Bachelor of Arts, Communications and Media Production, Oliver Beecham. Rory Bentley. Daria Stefania Bozekan. Jordan Charnley. Camille Chorley. Sarah Duffy. Rubina Freiberg. Ronan Gargan. Pauline Guillemon. Amandine Gioni. Luke Jennings. Lindiwa Masinga. Eric O'Callaghan. Aisling Potter. Yvonne Teo. Joshua Tze Van Chiao. Adam Thibault. Enzio Zanki. And from the class of 2020, Juliana Galetta. Fala O'Connell Grinnell. And finally, most importantly, Clodagh Wilson.
Iramanish Tanya Doyle, Stjorahor Corsa, Irahori on Dov, Irishorthogs Man, Comersider Corrilaher. I call upon Tanya Doyle, Programme Director, to present candidates in respect of the College's Faculty of Journalism and Media, Film and TV Production Programme.
Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, On behalf of the entire teaching team in the Film and TV department, I congratulate our BA in Film and TV production graduates. It's with considerable pride and immense pleasure we formally recognise your achievements today. We celebrate your determination, your resilience, and applaud your talent, creativity and ingenuity. This exceptional class is comprised of people who are full of character, supportive of each other and driven by their ambitions and desire to create. Although some of you have overcome personal difficulties and private hardship, each of you persevered, and I'm truly delighted to see each of you here today. As a direct result of their collaboration and collective can-do attitude, this tenacious group, not to be overwhelmed by the uncertainty and instability of a global pandemic, skillfully succeeded in producing 7 outstanding graduation films and 1 remarkable feature-length film script. Congratulations. These thought-provoking films delve into a wide range of topics and give voice to previously untold stories, from a dark comedy dealing with the idea of isolation and personal growth to a documentary about a Vietnam vet who, through his photography, explores the significance of creating images and documenting events. The scope of these projects reflected the diversity of perspectives, life experience, and talent within this graduating class. Each of you put in the effort and long hours required to bring your ever-evolving projects to fruition. For example, Adriana Ribeiro, who worked on what seemed to be a different professional production every month, went on to direct Blue Journey, a dreamlike film that serves to highlight the issue of domestic violence. And Sean Giacomelli O'Dwyer, who literally dug deep when he built an actual trench for the set of his visually charged TV commercial come World War II hybrid film entitled Gallardo. Okay? There's no doubt that this impressive group worked hard, and their efforts have been acknowledged within the professional community, with a significant number of our graduates now working in various roles within the ever-expanding Irish film and TV industry. Collectively, they've also excelled in receiving nominations and awards for their graduation films. Some of the works were selected for international festivals, such as the Rome Independent Prisma Award, the Independent Shorts Awards in LA, the Montreal Independent Film Festival, the New York International Film Awards, and Indie Shorts at Cannes. That's a big deal. One film in particular, Libra, a celebration of the queer body, directed by Arthur Lopez, produced by Adriana Ribeiro, photographed by Ingrid Machado, edited by Iman Scuffins, audio recorded by Ying Yi Lo, and First AD Nicole Tan won 3 international awards. Finally, in the words of Albert Einstein, creativity is intelligence having fun. Create, experiment, and have fun exploring whatever future opportunities this educational achievement affords you. President, I now present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed the BA in Film and TV Production and who are worthy of their QQI award. Adriana da Silva Ribeiro. Sean Diarmid Giacomelli. Ying Q Lo. Thank you. Arthur Lopez. Ingrid Machado Dijes. Enya Meyer. Stephen Moran. Vivian Murphy. Aoife O'Hagan. Hector Hugo Ribeiro Quinones. Didn't go that well. Iman Scuffins. Rory Straw. Jin Vern Tan. Graduates from the class of 2020, Emmett Gallagher. Julius Klopping. Mr. Bill O'Toole.
Anish Iramer Barry Finnegan, Stuarthor Clore, Irahori Irkema, on dá bhír seocht agus man cumarsáid a chur láthair. I call upon Barry Finnegan, Programme Director, to present the postgraduate and master's candidates from the college's Faculty of Journalism and Media Communications.
Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good afternoon. Graduates, when I see you all sitting here today, I'm reminded of the essays you wrote, the news media content you researched, and the excellent dissertations you completed under lockdown conditions. And I believe it's an excellent opportunity for us to remind ourselves of the mission statement of our faculty, which goes like this. The Faculty of Journalism and Media Communications believe in the central role that an independent, critical, and reflective media has in underpinning democracy in modern society. We want to produce graduates who have the key skills and capabilities to succeed professionally in a rapidly changing, creative, and communicative sector, while demonstrating the academic and personal depth needed to also challenge and shape society for the betterment of all. Having lectured and tutored you and marked your work for 1, 2, and a few 3 years, I know that we have achieved our mission. I also believe that there's never been a more exciting time to be entering the journalism, media, and communications sectors, whether it's public relations, TV and radio production, investigative news, or content creation. From the USA, where current predictions are that employment growth in media and communications will rise by 14% over the next few years, to Ireland, where again this year we saw a rise in online digital subscriptions to news services by a whole 4 percentage points, bringing us to 16%, which is higher than the EU average and twice the UK average. Postgrad and MA graduates, today you bring the spirit of independence upon which this institution was founded almost 50 years ago, with you out from Griffith College and into the world. A world where you should remember that media faculty graduates punch way, way above your weight in terms of the size of the faculty. Please make use of that network of successful graduates of which you are now a part. For our part, our door is always open. Please stay in touch, and congratulations to you all. President, I present to you the following candidates who have successfully completed their programmes and who are worthy of the award of the Postgraduate Diploma in Arts and the Master of Arts in Journalism and Media Communications, the Postgraduate Diploma in Arts and Master of Arts in Journalism and Public Relations, and the Postgraduate Diploma in Arts and Master of Arts in TV and Radio Journalism, and I request you to present their parchments to them. Thanks. Ben Johnson. Egisu Yeniokak. Olabasi Adiima Olainka. Abakunawola Akande. Alisa Amiri. Cormac Breen. Suzanne Connor. Alawatubi Fag Buaro. Brittany Gooden. Leah Kokunleds. Seniel Lee. Michael Ngadonye. Thank you. Ayandamola Agini. Anase Ojiya. Iwa Alua Aritu. Aoife Parley. Hamid Saeed. Aisling Tobin. And the graduates of 2020, Matthew Dumas. Dumas. Ryan O'Callaghan. Rekpene Okan. Is Giamacca there? Giamacca Oka? We have you now? Sorry. Giamacca Oka. Matilda. Matilda Askhamen. What are you doing to me? Timoteo Aola. Anna Paula Topolska. George John. Felipe Ducanto. Fergus McTiernan. Chidima Okoli. Rupali Ofhal. Sean Rose. Julia Salami. Sandra Ogbona. And 2020 graduates, Sukriti Sharma. Rory Corbett. Esther Danbava. Gabriela Malacuayas. Quiva Harney. Lance Kerrigan. Di Juan Lee. Andrew Martin. Arturo Sanchez. Nope. Sarah O'Neill. And the 2020 graduates, Martin Lucer. And Bahar Tarija.
And before we conclude our conferring of awards for our graduates here today and those online, I'd like to invite everyone to give a final round of applause to all our graduates. Tá anás an isig an goláiste dúisna bhrunna or isú the diary global fiaush went to mark in a good lane. The college now has the pleasure of announcing a number of prizes which are awarded to graduates who've achieved excellence in their studies. The following prizes are in respect of 2021 graduates. And the first prize is in respect of the Bachelor of Arts in Photographic Media. The best academic achievement on the Bachelor of Arts in Photographic Media is awarded to Hannah Donohoe. The next prize is awarded in respect of the BA in Film and TV Production. The best academic achievement on the BA in Film and TV Production is awarded to Arthur Lopez Deroajo. The next prize is awarded in respect of the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Communications and Media Production. The best academic achievement in the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Communications and Media Production is awarded to Rubina Freiberg. The following prize is awarded in respect of the Master of Arts in Journalism and Media Communications. The best academic achievement on the Master of Arts in Journalism and Media Communications is awarded to Suzanne Connor. The following prize is awarded in respect of the Master in Arts in Journalism and Public Relations. The best academic achievement on the Master of Arts in Journalism and Public Relations is awarded to Sean Rose. We're delighted also today to be awarding prizes and acknowledging the success and excellence of learners from 2020. And we have a number of prizes to be awarded there. This prize is in respect of the Bachelor of Arts in Photographic Media 2020. The best academic achievement in the Bachelor of Arts in Photographic Media is awarded to Brendan Keogh. The following prize is awarded in respect of the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Communications and Media Production. The best academic achievement on the Bachelor of Arts in Communications and Media Production is awarded to Fowla O'Connell Grinnell. And the final prize, to give the candidates some time to relax and sit down, is a college-wide prize. Every year we have a Student of the Year throughout the college, and it's awarded at one particular ceremony. This year, for example, we'll have 23 graduation ceremonies. So last year, 2020, the Student of the Year was awarded to a graduate from the Journalism and Media faculty, and it was awarded in respect of the BA Honours in Communications and Media Production. So for the Student of the Year 2020, it is once again Fowler O'Connell Grinnell. Now that our graduates have all been conferred with their awards, I would like to invite Mark Little, holder of the Griffith College Professional Excellence Award, to address the graduates.
Thank you so much. I have a series of confessions to make. I walked in the door. I hope this won't scare Dermot here, but with a finely crafted little speech that I thought might do justice to today, but actually I've ended up just scribbling in a few thoughts because I really want to speak to you from the heart. I have been awestruck by the last couple of hours. First of all, can I just say I'm awestruck by the educators around me. Can I ask for a round of applause quickly to the people here? Like swans gliding, and you don't know the work that goes on beneath the surface of the water. Thank you to Dermot. Thank you to Robbie for the introduction earlier on. I want to say I'm in awe of the parents here who survived these last couple of years. So big congratulations to all those sitting in the back seats. But most of all, I'm just in awe of this double bonus 2-year graduates that are in front of me. And I'll also say to you a little confession, I'm so jealous. I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous because I get the benefit of traveling around meeting people, talking about innovation, journalism, media, democracy. Last few weeks, I've been in various different scenarios and very different gatherings like this where I felt this really intense, nervous energy, where people who are looking forward to a future where there is no new normal, right? There's a never normal. You're all entering into a period where the only constant is change, and that for most people is scary, and for a certain class of people, that's so exciting. And for all you all who are sitting here today, you have the benefit also of knowing that after this last couple of years, in the space of a couple of years, we changed the way we work, the way we educate ourselves, the way we travel, the way we talk, like that. So everything's up for grabs. There is so much disruption that's going to be part of your life. You will be the agents of change in a world that is looking for that change. But finally, as storytellers, what's the word looking for most of all now? After a couple of years of this uncertainty, a world of information and disinformation, people are looking for trusted storytellers. So that's why I'm jealous of you, because you're starting out on the journey right now at a tipping point, not just in the craft of journalism or generally media, but storytelling in all the richness that you demonstrate today. And so when I talk about myself, this is my second confession, I have learned nothing from success that I've had, nothing. And I can guarantee you, anybody you see up at a stage who tells you that they are some sort of deity, that they can give you the gift of success, they're just not talking the truth, right? Because most people who've been in a position I am know that they have succeeded because of, first of all, a lot of luck, privilege, sometimes. Also hiring people that are much smarter than you. That's a really good trick, by the way, if you ever get a chance to do it. But finally, what marks people who succeed is how they faced up to their fear and their failure. And failure is the key element of any successful career. And when I talk about failure in my case, my whole career started with a failure. Like when I started out when I was a kid, I wanted to be centre forward for Liverpool, and I had no natural talent, which led me to my second great childhood dream, which is to be a journalist. What sealed the deal was I was about 15 years old. A religion teacher marked on my report card that I was prematurely cynical, which meant there was only one thing I could do in my life, and that was to become a journalist. So that was the failure to have any natural talent led me to journalism. Now, I did leave my childhood dream very quickly. I was lucky enough, and here's where luck came into it. RTE were hiring a bunch of people straight out of graduation. 2 weeks after ducking out of my MA course, I was standing on a rooftop with a mobile phone the size of a suitcase, broadcasting about a prison riot. Now, it was so bad that night, my boss said, don't ever look at that report ever again. But I failed upwards. I continued to work as hard as I possibly could to be lucky. And I get, we've heard a little bit about my successes. I won't dwell on what was a, childhood dream to live and work in places like Washington, where I was in the White House on the day, for example, the Good Friday Agreement was concluded, to be there with Clinton on a story that I had reported. I'd been in Belfast on the night of the Good Friday Agreement. I'd reported on the death that preceded the calling of the ceasefire, and to be living that dream as a storyteller, I look back and I still get goosebumps. But I also learned something about the good old days. They weren't necessarily all that good. I would go off to a foreign land, a war, and I would be, airlifted in and airlifted out again. I would go in there and I would basically report from wherever my satellite dish was. And so war became whatever piece of ground you were on. And sometimes that wasn't a truthful place to be. Sometimes, as in Afghanistan, as we all know recently, we didn't listen to the right people as journalists. We told stories that looked good on the television and, chose one side or the other. So the only lasting lessons I learned were from my failure to be able to communicate sometimes the truth of what I could see. I was in the tsunami aftermath in Banda Aceh, telling people in RTE and listening into the news that words cannot describe. Words could describe what I was seeing, the horror of what I was seeing, but I chose not to because it was hard to convey that to a public, a public that were listening while eating their dinner. And that was one of those things, frustration for me. While I loved my job, and I still look back with great fondness in those days, it did get to a point where I felt that journalism, many wasn't listening to people. And that was one of the things that I remember listening to. A producer once said to me, he said, have the courage to listen. And don't just decide your job is to choose one side over the other. It's have the empathy to understand what's behind those two sides. Your job is not to choose, your job is to listen. And I listened, and I was lucky enough to be on this fracture between an old internet, or an old technology, where when I started, remember that big mobile phone the size of a suitcase, I was a radio journalist to begin. We used to take these magnetic tapes and cut them up with razor blades. That's the way we made radio programs. We had no internet. We were using dial tone phones to ring people. How quaint. And then about 2008, I remember seeing Twitter. And Twitter, suddenly, I was on prime time, and it was a financial crisis. And previous to this, I was the guy in the telly, Mark Little, RT News, Washington, or I was the guy in the primetime chair. Nobody could talk to me, and I couldn't talk to them. And Twitter gave me the ability to go on to social media and to say, I've got the Minister for Finance in the studio tonight. Can you give me a question? And I was getting people direct messaging me who are estate agents and bankers and people who are suffering through the crisis, telling me, ask the Minister this question. I was suddenly becoming a better journalist because of social media. I was a foreign correspondent. I'd love to report places like Iran was the big story I loved most. They didn't send me to Iran for this contested election in 2009. I sat home in Dublin watching YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, young people recording a revolution happening on the streets of Tehran. It wasn't the foreign correspondents. It was ordinary people. It was a bottom-up democratic media revolution. So when you hear about people saying how bad Facebook is, remember that we are talking about the early days of a democratic revolution of storytelling, which has actually made a lot of people, like journalists, way more open to marginalized voices, way more open to the idea that they have to listen. So I sat around and looked around, and I told people I was thinking of leaving. I had a friend, a broadcaster, who told me they thought I was having a nervous breakdown. They were going to have an intervention to stop me from leaving RTE. It was so crazy to do this. But I kept thinking about my daughter, who at the time was 2 years old, and saying, what would happen when she's 25 years older? And I say to her, hey, I had this great idea, but what did I do? Nothing. And there was that sense, and it's a great line out of Jewish scripture, which says, if not me, who? And if not now, when? And I had that sense I would regret if I didn't do it. So I jumped, and I created a company called Storyful, and Storyful became successful. It, for me, led myself to Twitter. Now, again, I saw the bad sides. Don't get me wrong when I talk about this democratic promise of social media. I'm at the front line of what's wrong with this new internet era. But at the same time, what I've learned is that there's huge reasons for pessimism. quite clearly for those who are involved directly in journalism, those of you who are making movies, those of you who are going into public relations. We have a lot of information overload, which is the underlying problem here, right? It's not just disinformation. It's the fact that every single person in this room gets up every morning and is soaked with this tidal wave of information. We don't need more information. What are we looking for? We're looking for people to trust. And it's so hard sometimes for storytellers who believe in trust and truth to rise above the massive things you see on that scrolling newsfeed. And it's a massive challenge. It's a massive challenge to build businesses that can survive that information overload. It's a massive challenge for everybody to find the sources they trust. But here's a few things that give me grounds for optimism, explain why I'm jealous of you. The first is, if you see what happened with COVID, journalists were asked to take a stake in the outcome. And something changed because all the studies tell us that have been done recently, the reason why people are turning away from traditional media, it's not that they don't like journalists or they hate journalists, they're indifferent to journalists because it doesn't feel sometimes when they see journalism that the journalist has their back, has a stake in the outcome of what they're describing. But with COVID, something happened. I think people turned to journalism for trust, but also for a belief that we were all in this together, that we were all flattening the curve, and the journalist's responsibility was to get to an outcome in which we could protect each other. So we had a stake in the outcome. Now, it doesn't mean we've got to give up our objectivity, but the first good thing that's happening right now is I think journalism is starting to move what I would call solutions journalism. We don't just have an obligation to define the problem and choose sides. We do have an obligation as well with the biggest stories of our time to take a stake in the outcome, to have the back of the people that we serve. Climate change will not benefit anyone if journalists decide that they're going to have both sides of the story in the TV studio. There is side of science. We're on that side. That's solutions journalism. It doesn't work for everything, but we've got to confront those existential crises we have. The second thing is what we call engagement journalism. So remember the old days. I was the guy in the telly, you sat down, you turned on 9 o'clock news, and you had no way of answering back. Now, journalism and new business models of journalism, membership and subscription and donations are starting to emerge that are giving an incentive for the creators here in front of us to be able to go and build business models in which it's not about the sort of how loud their voice is, but it's how deeply connected they are to the communities that they serve. And that is the future, as far as I'm concerned, of journalism in this optimistic framework. Finally, first-person journalism. When I was starting out, you had to get a good job in a big news organization to have a career. Today, I'm sure people here are building communities on whatever platforms they feel comfortable on whatever topic they truly, truly feel passionate about. And they can build an audience and a direct connection through the new technologies we have. So it's not just going to be about defending journalism as an institution, the fourth estate. It's going to be about first-person journalism and storytelling. And for me, that is such an optimistic sign. That's why I'm jealous, again, of you. So I'm going to finish by saying, again, I had a whole bunch of things I could tell you about what I think about the future of journalism. But here's what I think about the future of journalists. Maybe a couple of things that I've learned. I'm going to sum them up by 4 Fs. If I could give you any advice, and I know that's probably not the right thing to do, but think about 4 Fs. Think about, first of all, about fighting. It is worth fighting for shared facts that unite our society. It's worth fighting to defend the concept of journalism and media as a public utility, as important as our education system. So fight for the shared facts that bring our society together. The second is the future, right? They tell us that journalism is the first draft of history. I don't think so. I think our job today, and your job as storytellers, is to look around the corner, and where other people see fear, you see some form of opportunity. You see some story you can tell that can help people when they're confronted by that paralyzing doubt, confronted by climate change, the problems we have in our country, to know that the future, your job is to make society more resilient to this era of constant change. Faith. I don't mean just religious, but faith, if that's what you have, that's great. But I'm talking about the faith in the belief that an individual can make a difference. That one person who decides to take a risk, and we've heard about Teddy Roosevelt's arena, that will step in and know that they have the ability to change and create change. I stand here today as somebody who's been in that arena. Have faith in your ability as an individual to create change. I think for me, if I was going to sum it up all up at the end, thinking about faith, I also think about that last F, and that's failure. And I think ultimately for you, you've all taken a decision to enter into a career in which there's no certainty except change. That the only way that you ever learn is not through your success, it's by taking risks. So I think about the great words of Sam Beckett a lot. In fact, in front of my desk, I have these words, and I look at them every single day. He says, try again. Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better. And that's the future of media. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, the future belongs to the people who have the courage to lead. The future belongs to the people who have the courage to make mistakes. The future belongs to people who will never have a regret. And the future belongs to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Ian Erica a gcuine uisle chum créirt leis an seamanna seo chum dámhachtaí a bhronna Alamorian Coláiste, ber an buchas live go léir. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony for the purpose of conferring awards on the graduates of the college. My best wishes and thanks to you all. While the graduates are here with us, I'd like to take this opportunity to briefly mention the Griffith College Alumni Network. With over 40,000 graduates living in Ireland, Europe, and over 104 countries worldwide, the network is an excellent way to stay in touch with your classmates, fellow graduates, and the college. The network is also proving to be a valuable resource for recent graduates seeking or changing employment. As we move towards the college's 50th anniversary, we're also delighted to see our graduates from earlier years using the network to recruit Griffith graduates to meet their own organisation's needs. Details of the network are on griffithalumninetwork.com and the college's website. Finally, we would like to thank all our graduates and their guests for their attendance on campus today and for all those who joined us online. For those attending on campus, we regret that we're not in the position under normal circumstances as we would, to invite everybody to mingle together and celebrate over drinks and refreshments indoors as we had hoped and planned. We recognise that health and safety must remain our first priority, and thank you for your support and compliance under these prevailing circumstances. For now, to our graduates, we wish you every joy and happiness in celebrating your success with your close friends throughout the day. As a token, we've small boxes of chocolates for everybody as you head your separate ways. In the future, and hopefully near future, we look forward to meeting you again on campus without restrictions as you continue to develop your successful careers. In the meantime, please stay safe and well. Please stand for the academic procession.